I get questions all the time asking about what I eat, especially as somebody who eats mostly plant-based, but I do eat a little bit of seafood and a little bit of fish as well. So I'm pescatarian, but my husband does eat meat. So our household is all about balance, sustainability, and of course, realistic routines. So whether you are looking for meal inspo or just trying to eat more mindfully without spending a fortune, this video is for you. But first, if you're new here, my name is Crystalline. You can call me Chris, and we chat all things mind, body, and planet on this corner of the internet. So I hope you guys stick around. Let's start with the morning. I focus on hydration plus like a cozy, nourishing start to my day. So I usually start my day with a big glass of water. Sometimes I even add a little lemon if I'm feeling fancy. Today was not one of those days. And of course, I always start with an iced coffee, sometimes an herbal tea. Just depends on the mood, but today was iced coffee. My go-to lately for breakfast has been a non-fat vanilla Greek yogurt. I love this brand from Esty. I think it tastes so good, and I love the vanilla bean flecks in it. And then I pair that with fruit, just whatever's in season. So right now, strawberries and bananas. And then I sprinkle on a high fiber cereal. Usually I use grape nuts, but I'm exploring. Now I'm using Total because it has a lot more minerals and vitamins to it. So I sprinkle that on top to act like a granola. If I'm really low on time and I don't have time to create an entire like parfait, then I will just have the cereal as is. There's a couple of brands out there, but the Pescatarian Farms brand, I feel like always has a bunch of really great options. I try to eat my breakfast without scrolling or trying not to work, look at my emails. I use this time to do like a morning shift of my house, kind of like, you know, when you get a morning shift at work, I use that time to turn on the lights, get my office prepped for the day. I love turning on lo-fi music. 10 out of 10 totally puts the vibes in check. And if the weather's nice, I'll even take some time to sit outside and eat my breakfast outside. Then it's time for a mid-morning snack. Now I am a snack girl. I always have been and I always will be. I usually have a mid-morning snack around like 10:30 or so, just a couple hours after I eat breakfast. I get that little urge to nibble on something. It rotates based on the week and the vibe of the week, but I love a trail mix or almonds, any kind of nut. Pretzels have been my go-to lately. I love the saltiness of a pretzel, and I feel like it's also very filling without being too much. And I say too much in like quotations. Fruit is another really good option, just whatever's in season. This week for me is peaches, strawberries, and bananas. And sometimes I go a little crazy and I just go canned because it's always gonna be good if it's in a can and it lasts forever if I don't eat it within that week. Usually at this point, I'm still sipping on my iced coffee, but if I'm itching for something else, I'll throw in some electrolyte powder in my water cup for a little extra pizzazz. Lunch in my house is usually a mix and match bowl situation. I like to prep ingredients earlier in the week and then I build from there. So this week my bowl situation is Mexican inspired. So I've got the white rice, I've got some roasted veggies. This week it's sweet potatoes. Then I have canned black beans that I have drained and rinsed, and same thing with canned corn. For the sauce in this bowl, I threw in some salsa, really going for the Mexican theme. And that'll be my lunch pretty much for the week. I usually prep enough that lasts me the entire week, but it doesn't have to be a Mexican inspired bowl. You could go Mediterranean with a tahini dressing. You could use quinoa as your grain, maybe couscous. I've even done pasta as my base before as well. And for proteins, again, that rotates for me as well. So I've done chickpeas. This week it's black beans. You can even do butter beans or lentils, or even go crazy. Maybe you marinate a little bit of tofu to use in your bowls. You can really get creative with the bowl situation, which is why I like it, because it doesn't have to be the exact same every week, and it doesn't have to be the exact same every day either. You can mix and match based on what you're feeling. My biggest tip for that is I like to shop at some local grocery stores. We have H-E-B, which is closest to us, and we also really like Whole Foods. Shopping what is on sale or in season is key. That's how like you're not gonna spend a ton of money on fresh fruits and vegetables or opting for cans. And having a well-stocked pantry like grains, pastas, rice, even olive oil is really gonna help you stretch your meals throughout the entire week. I usually take a break from screens around 3 p.m. and that is when I get the itch for a little warm drink. So I'll go for a warm tea if I still don't have my iced coffee from the morning, which usually I don't. I chug that thing pretty quick. Then I'll pair a warm drinky, like my peppermint tea, for example, which I'm showing you here, with a little something sweet. Sometimes sometimes a square of dark chocolate, sometimes a baked goodie if I'm in my baking era. I've even done like dried fruit or fruit leather. Sometimes just a glass of apple juice paired with my warm tea is enough to satisfy that sweet craving that I'm having too in the afternoon. 3 p.m. is my screen-free reset moment for the day. It allows me to just kind of take a break from staring at a screen, editing videos, responding to emails, and being crazy, you know, just the normal work things. It allows me to really just reset and come back and be like, okay, what do I have left for the day? What is manageable to get done by the end of the day, and what needs to be pushed off until the next day? Even if I only have 10 minutes in between meetings, that is enough time to really reevaluate and figure out what is on my goal list for the rest of the day. Okay, dinner is when it gets interesting because my husband eats meat and I do not eat meat. But we have found a rhythm that works for the both of us. So if you are in the same situation, you're not alone. Here are a couple of the meals that we enjoy having together. Tonight I'm making protein pasta. This is by Goodles, and I'm pairing it with a red sauce from H-E-B, and then I'm adding in some frozen peas. I love a peas and red sauce situation. It really breaks up like the monotony of every bite being red sauce. It kind of gives like a little refreshing hit to it. So I love that. That is what I'm having tonight. Now this is what I would normally have. My husband would just add whatever meat he wants, usually chicken or something like that to it. Other recipes that we usually go to and like rotate throughout the week is a veggie stir fry with rice and tofu for me, usually chicken for him. Or if we want both the same, then we'll do shrimp for both of us. Pasta night is always a hit. Even if it's not a red sauce with peas, you can do like a homemade pesto with some roasted veggies and then do the protein pasta, so that way you feel like you're getting some good protein in. Fish tacos, always a home run. You can pair that with slaw, black beans, and avocado. Then of course we have things like regular taco night too, where my husband will do ground beef and then I'll just do beans. I have been mostly plant-based since I'm like the age of 12, and so I never really understood like how to make a good balanced meal because my family was like, they only eat meat, they don't eat vegetables. So it was hard growing up to like figure out what is a good balanced meal for me in comparison like to what they have, because they would have like a bunch of meat and then I would just eat sides for dinner. That's not sustainable in the long run. And if you know, you know. So something that's really helped me, this is like the foolproof plan for a healthy balanced dinner. If you don't feel like going online, you don't want to do like a one pot meal, you don't want to try to find a recipe, or you play the game of, is this recipe going to be good or is it going to be really bad? You want a protein, you want a vegetable, and then you want a grain. And those three things will give you a good balanced plate. So your protein, if you're pescatarian, it could be a fish, could be a bean, could be tofu. Your vegetable could be a canned veg. That's literally such an easy go-to, is a canned vegetable you just microwave or put in a saucepan and heat up on the stove. Also, I mean, there's always fresh produce that you can do roasting, steaming, all the things with as well. Frozen vegetables, another great option. And then your grain, and I rotate on the grain. There's pasta, there's rice, there's quinoa, there's couscous. There's lentils even. Sometimes I'll even kind of scratch the grain and end up doing like a salad instead. So just having those three things, that is how you're gonna get a really great balanced meal, even if you're plant-based and the person you're with is not plant-based. Like, it's kind of a foolproof plan. So like you could have the same side, two things, your veggie and your grain, and then your protein can be different. So they can make whatever meat they want, and then you can have whatever plant-based protein that you want. I love to eat leftovers. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. So a lot of times I eat leftovers for my dinner. I like to batch cook. That also helps, especially on weeks where maybe I didn't prep enough for my bowls for lunch, or maybe I got lazy and just ended up not prepping anything for my bowls so that I'm left to scavenge the next day, which we've all been there. And in the evening, I just wind down with a little something, usually a warm peppermint tea with a dash of honey. Love that. Think it's just impeccable, wonderful. If I want like a more desserty thing, then I love a yasso bar. Yasso bars are freaking good. Or nothing. If I'm really full, then I don't need to force myself to have a sweet treat at the end of the night, because intuitive eating is a part of this as well. Nighttime for me is all about just listening to what my body needs, slowing down, and basically setting myself up for success for the next day. Because the worst thing ever is going to bed with a completely full stomach that's just really uncomfortable. Listening to your body is something that is hard to do, but once you start doing it, you learn the signs and you learn how much your body is willing to have a certain day. Maybe you're hungrier than others, and other days maybe you're not hungry at all. Food is so personal. There's no perfect way to eat. Only what works for your body, your values, the vibes of the day, all that jazz. For me, being pescatarian, that's brought me a lot of freedom and a lot of ease and joy into my life. So it's a diet that I've been enjoying doing, but really it's not about rules, it's really about rhythms. I hope this peek into my day gives you inspiration to form your own nutritious routines. And if you're working on being more intentional with your mind, your body, and the planet, maybe making better routines, then stick around on this channel, because those are all things we talk about. And these videos, I like to think they pair perfectly with some avocado toast and an iced tea. I hope you guys loved this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what your go-to meals are, because that's always fun. I love adding new things into my rotation and hearing what you guys are doing. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!